Hi, Dave Waldridge here from the European Blind Football League. I'm joined by Lucy, England international and student at RNC. So what is it like to study and be part of the community that's at the RNC?
It's honestly incredible. It gives such an incredible opportunity for students with a visual impairment to actually study in an accessible and good environment. I personally am doing maths and psychology, and in a lot of mainstream scenarios, you cannot do maths A-levels due to sight loss and how much it has to be adapted. And going to a specialised VI college, I'm able to do the subjects that I want. Alongside that, you have incredible people there also going through similar sight loss, or completely different, but you're not alone in there. You've got so many students with different variations and degrees of sight, and we all just get along, which is incredible. Alongside that, we have an incredible opportunity to try out different sports, and also having a blind football pitch on campus allows me to train, and also having a gym that's accessible. Also another booster point to where you're just able to do things as if you were fully sighted, fully abled, but just in an accessible way, and which is completely accessible.
And it must be amazing for RNC's facilities to host something like the European Blind Football League.
Yes, very much so. It gives so much publicity to the college, and hopefully more and more people will notice the college and see how much it does for visually impaired people. And hosting a league like that will bring people, hopefully, and people will start realising how incredible the sport and the college is, with the support and the help they provide to blind people.
And it's amazing that that support is there from the RNC, but as we look at blind football, what are those challenges that are faced by the sport?
Probably the travelling and the accessibility part of it. You do have to be in an environment where it is accessible or with a sighted individual, due to the fact it is very hard to train all by yourself. For blind football or any blind sport, a lot of the times you have to be in an accessible facility to train and develop as a player outside of camps or games or leagues. So that is one of the struggles. Additionally, it is that kind of learning the adaptations, as I come from a mainstream background of football, sighted football, and adapting to the different variations of blind football and other blind sports. It is a struggle, but that struggle disappears slowly when you get more used to it, and you have to find ways around it, because if you are passionate about a sport, you will find any way to overcome those struggles, because this is what we have to do.
And is that what makes RNC so important then, because it builds that community that supports each other?
Definitely, yeah. It gives so many opportunities socially, from an education side, mobility side, independent living skills, sports, anything you can think of. It gives us a booster step to step into our adult lives and try our best to live our lives to the fullest, because even though we do have a disability, that doesn't mean we can't live lives. And we learn how to do everything a sighted person does, but in our own little way. And it's so great that there is this place where we can learn all of that alongside education, alongside social activities, and then sports if that is what you want. And it's such an incredible opportunity if you're able to go into that college and attend it, because it gives you so many different doors now to open and try out.
And that must be amazing for you as well, being part of RNC, helping you with your career, because you mentioned there that originally you started out as a footballer in mainstream football, and you've progressed into blind football to now becoming an England international. Talk us through that incredible journey.
So from around the age of 6 to 7, I started playing mainstream sighted football, and then at the age of 9, my sight started deteriorating as I've got a genetic condition. And as my sight slowly deteriorated to around the age of 11, I played mainstream. I kept on trying to play mainstream, but the more sight I lost and the more my mental health deteriorated alongside that, I couldn't play it anymore. I found it so hard to get up understand and accept what was happening to me and just my sight loss in general, and then losing a sport that I love alongside that, along my mental health deteriorating, it was very hard for me to cope. And then I was suggested to go to a charity called Victor, and they create different camps where many other visually impaired children or people, depending on the age group, come together and try out different things. And the one I went to was a sports one, which was hosted at the RNC, and I was able to try different sports. And on the specific day we had partially sighted football or blind football. I started off with partially sighted football, but not long after I got scouted out for blind football, as they told me to just try and put the blindfold on and just try. And they saw some potential in me, and ever since then I've been going to England camps, and it's been incredible because not only that, yes, I have lost more sight, but it has boosted my mental health. It has helped me, it's saved my life to be able to play the sport that I love, but just in a tiny bit different way.
I mean, it's amazing to hear the passion that you speak about blind football with, Lucy. You're such a role model to people in the game. Why should everyone take up blind football? It's such an accessible sport. Why should someone consider being part of it?
I think if you love a sport and you are disabled, that shouldn't stop you from trying the sport, because there's so many adaptations that can be made, whether you're partially sighted or blind or deaf or in a wheelchair. There's so many adaptations, you just have to find them, and there's so many adaptations that can be made, and that your disability shouldn't stop you from playing the sport that you love. And me being able and having the opportunity to try the sport that I love, football, to then playing blind football with a few adaptations, I'm still able to play that sport, and it's absolutely incredible. And I don't want people to think that just because you're disabled doesn't mean you can't do things, because that is not what it is about. You're so capable of doing things, whether you have a sight loss or not, whether you're fully blind or not. You have such an incredible opportunity to just take it.
And that confidence you take from blind football, you can take into everyday life.
Definitely.
As well. So I want to wind you back, Lucy, to when you were younger, before you discovered blind football. Maybe there's someone watching this discussion right now, and they're in a similar situation. What message would you send to them?
I would say you have to grieve it. I think don't push it away. You might not find people who accept you or understand what's going on, but that doesn't determine that you're not supposed to be accepted. I think a very key thing that I got told when I was in my early teens, was the fact that I am not my sight loss. I'm so much more than my sight loss. And when I heard that, it made me look at it differently, because it's so hard when the people around you don't accept your sight loss, don't know about it. So how are you as an individual supposed to accept it when no one else accepts it? So I think it's just, you will find that bright light, you will find that good place that makes you happy, that makes you feel safe and accepted. It will take long, but it's so much work, and you are able to get there. You will get there. It's just a lot of fighting to do, a lot of acceptance. But you are allowed to get low on it. You're allowed to grieve it, because it is a part of you that you're losing, but you're allowed to grieve it. And when you grieve it, you will find positives about it, because there's so many positives about sight loss. So that's not where your life finishes. Just because you've lost your sight doesn't mean that your life is over. You have so much more that you can explore, even if you're visually impaired or not.
I mean, just look at what you've achieved, Lucy, now playing for England. What are your goals moving forward professionally?
We have a chance to be at the Paralympics in 2028. And to get there, we've got a World Grand Prix in Argentina this year. And hopefully, if we keep our ranking up, and in any other international competitions, if we keep our ranking up, we'll be able to reach the Paralympics as the first kind of women's blind football tournament in the Paralympics, which will be incredible. As being in any form of international sport, it's such an honour, and to be in the Paralympics is incredible.
Absolutely amazing. I know that you've got a game coming up shortly as well.
Yeah, indeed. We have a National Football League played at RNC as well, where 3 to 4 teams will be there from the Premiership teams and then the Championship teams, and I'm going to be playing games which will increase our development and also experience, which will then later on all add up to a greater development in the World Grand Prix.
Amazing. Well, Lucy, thank you so much for sharing your inspirational story and helping us discuss RNC ahead of round 3 of the European Blind Football League.